Yes, I am Jorge Wolpert. I am Director General for Urban Development, Soil and Housing for the Ministry of Agrarian, Territorial and Urban Development in Mexico, SEDATU. I am here at COP21 because SEDATU has been invited as a keynote speaker in some of the events within the COP and some outside with the French government, since we are involved and engaged in some cooperation with the French government as well.
And if we speak generally, how vulnerable to climate change is Mexico, and what steps is your ministry taking to tackle this?
Well, Mexico is quite vulnerable. This ministry, SEDATU, was created in this administration by President Enrique Peña Nieto. Our minister, Mrs. Rosario Robles Berlanga, is very much concerned with resilience in Mexican cities, precisely because we are a very vulnerable country. And we can say aloud many examples, but the most recent one was, and President Peña mentioned it in his intervention last Monday, was the hurricane, Patricia. And we could see there two things, positive, both of them. First, it was very well managed, not only from the federal government, but as well in partnership with the national government, with the subnational governments. And another thing is that nature helped us, because the size of that hurricane was never seen before. And still, when it hit land, it somehow diminished importantly.
So Mexico has developed a climate plan up to 2030, it's INDC. Would you say it's mainstreaming adaptation into this, as well as cutting carbon and becoming more sustainable?
I think Mexico is one of the countries that aligns adaptation with mitigation efforts. Actually, our formal position for the document that is now, I understand, being handed in for the discussions and the ministers, includes a measure that was actually proposed by SEDATU that has to do with adding an aid to NAMAs for adaptation, so they become nationally appropriated mitigation and adaptation actions. And this is not only an idea that we have. This is because in our sector, particularly when we started to implement the housing NAMA, we realized that there are many co-benefits, and you can listen in many of the side events here at the COP, where everybody talks about co-benefits of certain instruments or certain actions. Most of these co-benefits from mitigation action have to do with adaptation. They impact socially, economically, in health, in many other areas. Particularly in the NAMAs where we are involved, which are four in SEDATU, the housing, new housing NAMA, the existing housing NAMA, the urban NAMA, which is like our new big program and project, supported obviously by the Ministry of the Environment as well. And we discuss it at length in many events here at the COP, and also an urban transport NAMA. So in these instruments, we identify that the co-benefits should be measured and reported as adaptation measures.
Mexico in the UN process is quite an interesting example. It was a developing country that has come forward and wants to be progressive, and it's in the environmental integrity group. Could you just reflect on how it differs to other Latin American partners?
Well, I think Mexico has shown leadership in climate change, and somehow we have been successful with our Latin American partners in engaging them to a similar level. You can see how Peru and Brazil and Chile are very much engaged in the climate action discussions globally. We are supported, for example, by the World Bank Group via the Partnership for Market Readiness on two of our NAMAs, the Urban NAMA and the Transport NAMA. And in this partnership, there are other Latin American countries such as Costa Rica, who is already starting a carbon market, Chile, who is also working their ETA, and we obviously speak not only the same language, but we are very much alike in many aspects. So we have been able. So I wouldn't talk about the differences, but probably we started first. Probably we needed it first from adaptation, from what you were just commenting, and we have been having very good rapport with our colleagues from Latin America.
Thanks ever so much. We'll leave it there.
I appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thank you.